Hello everyone and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world and across Australia. This is episode 237. We are recording live on Saturday, May 22nd, 2021. We decided to go a little bit later this week so that we could talk about Fan First Friday. We got some new Studio Series 86 reveals. We got a new Shattered Glass bot. But even bigger news, like it's a good thing we didn't go live last night, because today in Australia, this dude turned up in stores. Where's my camera? This dude turned up in stores everywhere. I'm holding Kingdom Rodimus Prime. We are going to talk about him tonight as well. All that and more is coming up in this week's episode after this. Hello and welcome to the show. It is a show that is happening and stuff. I'm Jason. I'm joined this week. I don't really know what I'm doing this week. It's a bit of a weird week.
Oh, gee, what a surprise from every other week.
This is what happens when we go on a Saturday night instead of a Friday night. Like, I'm completely unprepared.
I know. I've broken out the Pepsi. Look out! Ooh.
Wait! Hold up your Pepsi glass. Brad, you can hear Bradley's voice coming to us from over in WA. The window for getting a call into Western Australia is very narrow, but hold that up closer to the camera, Brad, because you've got a personalised glass for your Pepsi, and a beer drinkers legend. You're drinking Pepsi out of a beer drinkers legend glass.
Yeah. So you heard a Legends class. This is a Legends glass.
The next thing of that is that there'll be a Legends ass, but you might just be sitting on that.
Yeah.
The other voice that you can hear cackling away in the background there is Max, coming to us from Adelaide. How are you going there, Max?
I'm well, thank you, Jason. How are you?
I am very well. Max is sitting noticeably lower than the rest of us in the three up. There we go.
Bradley, lift that up. There we go.
That's okay. Bradley's going to slouch with you by the looks of it, so we'll see. Now we're all very tall indeed.
Very tall, very imposing. Very formal looking.
Yes, very very formal, very formal. It's been a week since the last episode, guys. I'm enjoying the cadence of getting an episode out every week. I hope you guys are as well. It's been quite a bit of news actually has happened this week, but I think we've broken it down to some manageable portions. So we're going to try and keep the show under an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour. It depends how excited Bradley gets about Rodimus.
Yeah.
We'll see how we go. Some notable things that happened this week. Anything for you guys over South Australia, Western Australia? Oh, that's a big McNo there.
Nah.
So they say once you have more than 5 seconds of radio silence, like the answer is no. So the answer is no. Nothing notable happened.
Well, I've got some news, but it's Twitch related. I reached 1,000 followers yesterday.
Fantastic. Wait, you were like 1 or 2 followers off 1,000 last time we spoke about this.
No, last time I was 1 or 2 off 900.
Oh, fantastic! Well done. And you're still streaming every day, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is at twitch.tv/GroovyGuyGaming, which we will repeat for you at the end of the episode anyway. In fact, by the end of the episode, I might have something more ready to go. Ominous message. Notable things that happened this week. Victoria is in the grips of a Supanova convention. Was not where that didn't really end. That sentence didn't end where I thought it was going to end. But yes, the first Supanova convention in Australia since I think 2019. I don't think they happened. I don't think there were any in early 2020. The first Supanova convention in quite a while is currently on in Melbourne. We have Simon Chambers, TCCA's president, and Jonathan Hawkins, our Vic State rep. They are down manning the booth down in Victoria. We might get one of them on next week, I think, to talk about Supanova and talk about the con-going experience and how things have changed after a year of COVID. So we'll get a bit of a convention report going next week, I think. And other than that, I think we should probably start some news. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a good idea for a news show to talk about news.
We're going to move swiftly on and get to the news.
Straight into news.
Hasbro news.
That will take us into some news.
What news comes from via yonder?
It's been a bloody big week out of nowhere, so let's get cracking.
It's been a big couple of days, but yeah. So let's put the news screen share in, and so the biggest news of the week is that for the second week running, Australia has done it again. We've come up with the world's first Transformer sighting. Last week it was the world's first sighting of Kingdom Leader Class Galvatron. And this week, from out of nowhere, Big W stores at least in New South Wales, have started stocking Kingdom Commander Class Rodimus Prime. This was especially surprising as we didn't think he was going to hit the stores until the Big W toy sale, which I don't think is until a little bit later in June.
Isn't it June 1st?
July. Oh, is it June 1st? Oh, right.
Weren't we talking about it like a couple of weeks ago, and I think you said June 1st? I don't know.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember. I mean, like, you're asking a lot for me to remember something that I said a couple of weeks ago. I say a lot. I say a lot of things.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Nothing constructive.
Very, very rarely do I say anything constructive. However, we do have a couple of confirmed leader class Rodimus sightings. They are coming from Big W. We awoke this morning as we slept off the highs and the buzzes of Hasbro's Fan First Friday stream, which we'll talk about in a minute. The news did reach us that Rodimus Prime had been spotted in Big W stores, and so I went to Big W today and I procured my own Rodimus Prime. I think it's a prettier photo. I'm just saying, except for the packing boxes and all the shit in the background. But when I went to Big W this afternoon, the staff actually said that people have been buying it for the last 2 days. So it's been out there and people have been buying it, and it's taken 24 hours for the news of its release to actually reach us, which is not great when you're trying to have your finger on the pulse of the Transformers community, but what can you do? So anyway, so Rodimus Prime is out there. He is $150 at the moment. We don't know if he's going to drop down to the $120, $125 price that Skylinks was at release last year at the Big W toy sale, but we will find out in the fullness of time.
This has happened a few times now, hasn't it? Where like the Big W toy sale specifically, like separate to all the other toy sales, that's Australia
right.
winds up getting some massive release like earlier than the rest of the world.
Yeah, it happened with Devastator in Combiner Wars.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm not sure if it happened. I'm not sure if it happened with Fort Max and Triptychon, the subsequent Prime Wars at Titans.
No, they were released in conjunction with a sale, and
yeah, I think
we got them late.
No, actually,
if I recall correctly.
I did a sticker video for either Triptychon or Fort Max on YouTube, and someone said, "How do you get that so fast?" I said, "Well, I'm in Australia," and I think they were in America or something, and they didn't have it there yet.
Oh well, it must have been one of the Titans that we ended up getting. I think Predaking didn't really come here very much at all, in fact, I think. And of course, Hasbro very famously made up for the early release of Devastator by not releasing Jetfire here almost at all. Jetfire still remains quite sought after to this day. However, if you're after another Commander class figure, Skylinks is still on store shelves. So I feel like people who are into Rodimus and want to get Rodimus, they don't necessarily have to run out and get him on day one. They could wait until the toy sale hits and the price comes down at Big W. Whether or not all the early adopters like me will have cleared the shelves by then is an interesting question. But I don't think he'll be trouble to get afterwards as well, given that Skylinks is still around. But by the same token, Jetfire can't really be gotten easily in Australia. So you pay your money, you take your choice. So I made the decision today that it's a world first figure sighting.
Champagne.
I went out and spent the extra money to get him, and all up, I am pretty happy with him. But we will talk a little bit more about Rodimus Prime later in the show. We're going to stick with the news for now. Before we move on, does anyone have any questions or things about?
I'm probably I told my friend because he sort of works on the road and visits different stores. I said, keep your eye out for Rodimus because a friend of mine started him in Big W, and I think if it's being released now, there's a very strong chance it'll be completely gone by the time the sale comes along. That's what I'm worried about.
So a couple of things on that. So first of all, I just want to put up this comment from Craig Seymour saying Rodimus is not on the Big W online shop yet. Shelves most likely at the moment. Yes, that's very true. We've had a lot of people calling around shops today to ascertain whether or not they've got stock. It's about 50-50 whether or not they have him and will sell him to you. Some stores said that they won't put him out until Monday. Monday is not actually the start of the sale either, but whatever ends up happening there. But and others may be holding him until the toy sale. I have had very little sleep because I stayed up last night to watch the Hasbro Pulse first Friday.
You nerd.
I know, right? I know.
Slept Stanley through the night.
Woohoo! Nerd alert.
That's it. I do the same thing for different events.
In fact, it's the second time this week it's happened because I was up at 3 a.m. for Google I/O on Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday morning. So yeah, I've had my sleep has been very disrupted this week, and it's Hasbro and Google's fault. However, what we got out of that this morning was pretty awesome. We are looking at new Studio Series 86 figures. None of them are too much of a surprise. We've seen rumors, bargains, and lies about all of these figures. However, one of them is newly revealed and it didn't leak out. So we'll continue going with that. So first up is the Leader Class Studio Series 86 Slug. Slug.
Thank you.
Slight controversy around the name changing, but I think we can take from this that Slug's name is now officially Slug in all media, and will probably never return to the use of the A vowel. And ultimately, you can call the toy whatever you want. So on the Fan First Friday live stream, they talked a little bit about the color scheme for this figure because his color scheme is a little bit different to his G1 toy. Doesn't have the black head, and I think his legs are slightly different color and things like that. Now, they explained that what they've actually been doing, because the Studio Series line actually strives for screen accuracy, they've actually been picking colors for these toys from the newly restored 4K Blu-ray release, which is coming out, I think it's on pre-order this week.
Yeah.
And in fact, they've been using the 5-year-old 30th anniversary release to pick the colors for these guys. And in Transformers the movie, unlike the series and unlike other incarnations of the media, Slug's head is red. So hence his figure for Studio Series 86 gets a red head. Sorry, that's just how it works. We don't make the rules.
Pretty sure his head was red in the cartoon too, wasn't it? Cartoon series?
Maybe it was in the cartoon.
Yeah, I
but
think it was.
The toy was definitely.
It was
the
all
toy
over
was
the face of the cartoon.
Yeah, fair enough.
The toy was very different. Yeah, they did mention, like Jason was saying in the stream, that they did strive for cartoon accuracy, and then they did show the G1 toy in comparison.
Yes, and they actually had the Power of the Primes version as well, just to sort of show that with Power of the Primes.
That's right, it was Power of the Primes.
Oh, well, yeah. So they showed the Power of the Primes version, and they said, look, with that one we tried to do it more toy accurate, and with this one we're going more screen accurate. So that's why the colours are a little bit different. People have been surmising that the head on the leaked images was red because they were saving costs or anything, but no, it's just an issue of screen accuracy. This is also the reason why his horns are white instead of the red that his original toy and Power of the Primes figure has. So there's not much that we don't know about this figure. We've seen this figure leak several times over the last couple of months. I think he looks even more impressive in the official figures, in the official photos, than he did in the leaked photos. So what do you guys think? Bradley, are you up for another leader class Dinobot?
Definitely. I've been excited for this guy since we saw the first leaked photos like a couple of months ago, and yeah, nothing's changed. Still looking forward to this toy, and still don't really give a toss, or still don't understand why it's coming with a Daniel.
It's a classic two characters that have always been associated with each other.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
All that lovable hijinks from the cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah, all those episodes when Slag was a central character.
I honestly missed the fact that this hadn't been officially revealed. Like, I thought this had been officially revealed because it had been leaked so many and talked about so many times.
Mm.
Yeah, it was linked enough times that we there was no question over whether or not it actually existed or not. There was if it leaks once, well, maybe it's a fake. But if it leaks multiple times in multiple photos and multiple posts, it's there's a good chance it's real, right? So, Studio Series leader Slug is coming. He comes with his blaster accessory as seen there, and he comes with a Daniel, which is probably not that much use. They did handily point out on the stream that Daniel is compatible with any of the mount points that we used for Wheelie on Grimlock, which is not exactly a priority selling point, but
It means we can finally have Wheelie and Slag together.
Yes. And of course there's a bit of a look at his Dino mode as well. Now, I gotta say the part of this that really sticks out to me is the eyes, where there's this really, really nice looking translucent blue effect happening there, which I don't think Grimlock had happening on his. That was indeed the cue to go get Grimlock, because Grimlock is not in front of me here.
No, at least Grimlock's eye, and it's not very bright in comparison to this photo of Slag we're looking at. Also,
however,
the same.
Well, I will just say it could also just be a trick of the lighting on this.
Well, there's also, to me, it looks like Slag's head is hollow because his eye is the same color as the backdrop. So it's like this is a 2D image we're looking at. 2D Slag's just been plopped there. It's not 3D.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, well. As we said, we've talked about Slug quite a lot. Another figure which we've mentioned before, but I don't think we've actually seen before. This guy did leak during the week, but I don't think we had him for did we have him for last week's show? I'm not sure. Oh, there's Daniel writing. So, Studio Series 86 Wreck-Gar is a Voyager class figure embodying the Junkion leader in possibly his most screen accurate representation yet. Now, this is a Voyager class figure. He has the obviously he's got wheels because his alt mode is a motorbike, but he's also got the armor axe that you can see in his right hand there. With it looks like there's a spinning part on it, so that the axe can actually spin. We have seen that gimmick done before on Wreck-Gar releases, but not quite at this scale. Now, Wreck-Gar looks pretty amazing. I think there's been a lot said about his design in various circles in the last couple of days, because the figure did leak a couple of days prior to the event. People have pointed out that they think he looks a bit like one of the KFC Junkions, possibly scaled down and made a little bit to mass market. What do you guys think? What do you think of his design? And is Wreck-Gar a character that you think is going to make it into your collection? Max, I don't think I asked you about Slug. Sorry,
I've spoken
Wreck-Gar
at length about Slug already, but Wreck-Gar I'm thoroughly impressed by.
Yeah,
this is I can't. There's not too much complicated to say about it, really. I mean, just because it's like I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying he is, just a G-Run Wreck-Gar, and it looks really bloody good.
He does. You can see the axe. Unlike the Generations figure, the axe gets mounted on the back of the bike here. In Generations, it was the spokes of one of the wheels. No such case with the Generations. With the Studio Series 86 version. You can sort of see where the transformation goes here, because you can see that Wreck-Gar's robot mode has these two packs that sit on either side of the back of the bike, and so you can sort of see the chest is sort of flopping down, the legs are sort of going up and connecting up to the shoulder. So essentially, it looks like Wreck-Gar sort of flops over, moves a couple of bits around, and suddenly
he holds onto his front wheel.
Yes. Yeah, holds onto the front wheel for dear life, I believe it says here in my notes.
There's also, if you look at his robot mode, you can see the visor or his windshield or whatever, sort of behind his head.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So his it's not the case that his head actually holds the windshield that is there for his bike mode, which would be beautiful. What if it was, but the scale doesn't really work for that. So yeah.
I just got to say, I'm really looking forward to this toy. I hadn't seen the leaks before the Fan First Friday, and this is looking really good. And I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, I don't think I've ever been in the same room as a G1 Wreck-Gar toy. I'm like, I know I've never owned one, I've never handled one, and this guy just looks amazing. He's a lot beefier, obviously, than the Generations one, because that was pretty slender. He had a really cool look to him with the mow and everything, but this just looks really, really good, and I can't wait for the inevitable 1 or 2 repaints and remolds of him.
Possibly. Coming from Rob Franklin on the live stream, says, "Yeah, I will be buying 2 of these." Let's go to the next photo, and we'll see why you'll be buying 2 of these. Which is Screen Cat from the live stream. Like every good Wreck-Gar can ride himself in his alt mode.
I'm just wondering what the wear and tear will be like if you actually rolled this like a bike, because he's got spikes on his wheels. Not sharp spikes, but still little nubs.
Yeah, I mean, when you say wear and tear, like, do you mean on the surface that he's rolling on,
or
on the figure itself?
Oh, just, those things might wear down if you roll it back and forth on your desk.
Some of those
while
tractors that farmers used to crash up rocks. It's just.
I actually wonder how well it rolls, because, like, knowing how most figures are constructed, that's probably hard plastic, right? So there's no real reason as you push that forward for the spikes to move. So I don't know. However, our erstwhile producer, actually not erstwhile, our lovely producer Brad is watching from his camping trip, and he says he does ride across junk. That is very true. It's a very good point. Our kitchen tables are not exactly the the surface that Wreck-Gar is used to riding on. However, he is definitely he's definitely like the most screen accurate Wreck-Gar that we've ever seen. The G1 figure was absolutely not screen accurate. The Generations figure was fantastic, and I'm very fond of that mold, but it was completely not based on his actual cartoon appearance. That figure came around the time where they were reimagining a lot of these characters for the Generations lines and some of the video games and beyond. This looks amazing. He looks like he's just stepped out of the cartoon. The fact that it's a retail figure is even more impressive to me. And I gotta say, his I want to go back to this photo here. I thought he looked a little bit depressed here because like his gun nipples seem to just be pointing down. But on here they seem to be pointing in all sorts of different directions.
I'm sorry, his what?
Now, his gun nipples.
His Tommy gun titties.
Just double checking.
Yeah. Like I mean, he's not a fembot, right?
Yeah.
But but like I actually like let's talk about the geometry of gun nipples, right? Like it actually looks to me like they stick out and can be posed. Like it's almost like a little joystick, you know?
Possibly. Now that I'm looking at the robot and the bike, the sort of our screen right one, the nipple on the bike and the robot looks to be sort of tilting down the same way. So maybe it's just to like, you know, you can move him around so it look like he's made out of junk or something.
Maybe. Del Victor's commented on the live stream saying, "Articulated nipples sold."
What if you're going to be able to fit?
I was going to say Brad is looking for an episode title, and that might be the episode title instead of gun nipples, but we'll see.
I just wonder if you can fit blast effects onto him.
So well may you ask, and I did actually see someone on Twitter say that they think they are blast effect compatible because most of the blast effects aren't 5mm ports, but they are 3mm ports. So you might be able to get some blast effects onto Wreck-Gar's gun nipples, articulated gun nipples. So yeah.
I was just going to say, remember also in the cartoon there were female Junkions, so it's going to be pretty apt if we get a repaint of those.
Well, so they were, but like not all of the Junkions had the same equipment that Wreck-Gar has. So yeah, I think if we do go for the inevitable, the inevitable repaint, I say inevitable because like I can't really be quite sure that it will be inevitable, but if there is, say, a Generation Select repaint or something like that, I would imagine it would probably end up being a bit of a remold. So he would not be obviously Wreck-Gar repainted. He'd probably have a different head because Wreck-Gar's the only one with the flowing moustache and goatee, and probably have a slightly different chest design. But,
I just remember
the
2 repaints we got of the Wreck-Gar Generations. Well, like Wreck-Gar was orange, and the 2 Junkions was sort of like a red. So maybe they can do that as well if they do go for the Junkion route.
Yeah, could do. Now the final figure that was revealed this morning in the Hasbro Fan First Friday live stream was a Sharkticon. Now we have heard that Sharkticons were going to be coming to Studio Series 86. We didn't necessarily believe them, but look at this fella. This guy is a deluxe class figure, so he's the largest Sharkticon that we've had in years. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. He's also the cutest Sharkticon that we've had in years. And also, I feel like this Sharkticon owes a bit to the Unique Toys Sharkies. He's got the stumpy legs. He's got the sort of the wide open mouth with the little head in it. I reckon he's Hasbro might have had some third-party Sharkticons sitting on the table. Brad has commented troop build on the YouTube stream, and he is absolutely correct because they said that this guy is intended to be the army builder for this set.
If he's the army builder, is that why there were only three? There's only three toys in this upcoming wave. So everything's just going to be Sharkticon Gnaw?
I think it's possible that they'll pack a lot of Sharkticons. I think they learned their lesson with Titans Return Gnaw that people like to buy a lot of Sharkticons. But I think it's also possible that other figures will be packed in the wave with these guys. We don't necessarily know if these are the full consignment. So this is only one deluxe and one Voyager and one leader figure. But historically, you've often been able to get 2 leader figures in one wave, two multiple Voyagers and multiple deluxes. So I think it's possible that there'll be other movie figures packed in with these guys, just not 86 movies.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Gnaw in his mega cute Sharky mode. Look at that! Look at that! It is a 2-legged death machine.
It's really well done too.
It looks amazing. What were you saying, Matt?
It's just really well done. It's got this very purpose-built look to it. If that makes sense.
Certainly does.
It looks like this artificially created thing. It's just cool.
I feel like they've actually captured the deadness of the Sharkticon's eyes perfectly with the color they've put on there. I want to go back actually because I wanted to bring this up when we were talking about Retgar as well. The paint applications on Retgar look very, very specific, right? There's the spikes and the tires. There's all this detail around his lower legs and things like that. So they're definitely going out there and they're not afraid to use paint on these figures, and that also is apparent when you look at Gnaw. You can see all the little bits of detail that there's highlights on there, and you can see there's a lot of these areas where there's this glossy blue paint that's been used, like the horns and his feet. The feet that the bot mode is standing on, they look like they're molded in that color, but there's all these little highlights and the red and yellow around the place, and of course the eyes as well. There's a lot of paint on these guys. There's a lot to love about them. Now, accessory wise, Gnaw comes with a blaster, as you can see, and like most of the Gnaws that we've seen in the last couple of decades, his tail can detach and become a mace weapon. Big difference with this one is that there's actually a hinge in the base, so when the tail detaches, he's got a 5mm port on there, so anyone can hold it, and there's a hinge in the base so it can flail around, going all over the place. So this is the first time we've seen Gnaw. This guy did not leak. His existence leaked. We knew that Gnaw was coming, but we didn't really know when. What do you guys think, Bradley? Are you into Gnaw?
I am, but at the same time, I was sort of lucky when Titans Returns Gnaw came out. I sort of found, I think, 3 in a shop, and then I got a 4th one with the Pit of Judgment. So I'm sort of umming and ahhing if I need to update my Sharkticons. At the same time, I didn't actually use the Titans Returns gimmick in Gnaw. You know how you could fit like a Titan toy in his jaw.
Yeah.
I never used that. This looks to be built to look like a Sharkticon and not fit in some sort of tacky gimmick. So I'm definitely interested to see it.
At the 29 to 35, maybe a little bit more dollar price point. I feel like I don't feel like I would want to army build him, but I already have a lot of Sharkticons, and I did see someone in the chat today say that they were looking to buy, I think, 5 of the Titans Return Sharkticons, and they were going to buy 1 of the Studio Series Sharkticons to function as their leader.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, King Sharkticon.
So, given that you've already got a little army of Sharkticons, so you could get this guy to be their leader.
Yeah, I can get one out of curiosity, because if I remember the Times Return one, it only came with like the mace weapon, which was solid cast. I don't think it came with a blaster.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And there was also the fact that they were sort of used in silhouette as Quintesson enforcers, and they were bloody huge. So this is probably the closest we're going to get to that.
I think so. Yeah. I think the Sharkticons will pair up really nicely with Hot Rod, with Cup, and of course the Dinobots as well. Basically anyone who is in that scene in the movie will do well with them. You could even feed the wheelie that comes with Grimlock. You could feed the wheelie with Grimlock. You could feed that wheelie to your Sharkticons and never have to worry about him ever again.
I think the Quintessons will also become a lot meaner with a few of these in their pit of judgment.
That's also true. Note they did come with a repaint of the Titans Return one, which scales all right. Like, this will be a bit too big for the Pit of Judgment, but you never know. The next pit might be a little bit larger. So I think it's fair to say that all three of the Studio Series 86 figures revealed overnight get a big tick from all of us.
Yeah, I'm suitably impressed across the board.
Yeah.
This is some really good stuff.
My feeling is that they won't be especially hard to find either. Like, Studio Series 86 spots have been all over the place since December in Australia. We did have a slightly early release of them. Gosh, we've had a slightly early release of other figures this year as well. So Galvatron last week, Rodimus this week. The chances of us getting these guys out first at the moment could well be pretty high. We'll see how they go, but I don't think they'll be difficult to find. So, if you're tempted to run off and pre-order them, you could pre-order them. They are actually up on Amazon. We've said several times over the last few weeks that Amazon Australia is indeed the leaky ship of Transformers listings. Guess what? These figures have been up for pre-order on Amazon Australia for a couple of weeks now. So if you do want them, there's an option to go get them there. I feel like if you were to wait for them to actually hit retail, you might well be able to take advantage of some price matching or some sales, and possibly pick them up a little bit lower than retail, which is probably what I'll end up doing. Shall we move on?
Indeed.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about the Shattered Glass set. Overnight, Hasbro revealed the third figure of the Shattered Glass set, which is Starscream. Starscream, the heroic Decepticon. Yes, you heard that right. The heroic Decepticon, the Megatron's second in command, who is always heaping praise and saying nice things about his comrades, which is a very un-Starscream thing, which is why it's the Shattered Glass version. So this guy is a Siege retool, well, not so much of a retool as much as a repaint. In Shattered Glass, Starscream takes on Jetfire's colours and pretty much his personality as well, which is why he's a fantastic white and red with the blue canopy in the middle of his his alt mode there. As I said, he is a Cybertron mode Tetrajet, which means his repaint of the Siege mold. We thought maybe they were done with that after the Netflix Sparkler Seeker, but nope, there's still life left in the old girl yet. Now, one difference with this guy is that he does come with, and if I can just move to the next screen, he does come with a sword that the Siege Tetrajet mold does not come with. Similar to the, I want to say it was the Megatron, the Shattered Glass Megatron figure, where they actually molded up some new weapons for him. This guy comes with an Energon sword, they're calling it, and it actually breaks apart into two pieces. Now, as it breaks apart into those two pieces, you can actually see that there's some additional attachment of the weapons underneath the wings of his jet mode. So they become Energon sabers.
They sort of become the blast effects for him.
They pretty much do, yes.
I just realised that they have the figure posed on literal shattered glass.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've actually been really impressed with the detail that's gone into Hasbro's product shoots lately. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Studio Series 86 bots, they're all on this really nice. It looks like it's glass panels. Standing underneath them. Slug's probably a little bit easier to see. I really liked that effect.
I think it's like the arc diorama that was released by a third-party set, because if you look at the bottom of the picture, it looks like a thick plastic.
Yeah, you could be right there. Maybe it's not glass, but it's actually it could just be a piece of plastic. You're right. So I'll just get back onto the story that we're actually talking about. I don't know why my keyboard commands have suddenly stopped working, but like.
See, Jason, I thought this time I'll do you a solid, and I won't actually bring out my original Shattered Glass Starscream.
Thank you. I don't have that one.
What do you guys think of the?
I beg your pardon, Max. Sorry.
I was just thinking, what do you guys think of the idea that what do you guys think of the idea that the swords might be sort of homage to Armada Starscream? You know, a sort of more morally pure version of the character.
It actually sort of makes sense given the time that Shattered Glass began at. That maybe it is actually referencing a weapon from the original mold of the character. I'm not sure what the original mold for Shattered Glass Starscream is. If only someone had it and could actually bring it out to tell us about it.
Would you like me to go and get it, Jason?
How long will it take?
Probably a minute.
Sure, why not? Let's pull up Shattered Glass Starscream and have a look at him. From memory, I think he's actually a fairly large figure. I think.
Was it a Cybertron mold? I can't remember.
I think it was Cybertron. Yes, yeah. I don't know if that one came with a sword or not, but well, anyway, this one comes with a sword. Looks pretty cool. I noticed that Hasbro's photographer loves to take the null cannons off the Seekers at the moment, and
yes, I'd like him to stop doing that. It's just a personal request. Please don't do that.
I mean, when has Hasbro's stock photographer done anything that we've asked them to do?
Yeah, to be fair, this is a new higher standard for them.
Yeah, it's possibly true. While Bradley is busy locating Shattered Glass Starscream, Rob has commented, I can see many fans buying this figure for the sword and giving it to Siege Jetfire. That could be an appropriate swap, given that he's got Jetfire's colours. So, why not? The sound that we the sigh that we heard there, that noise was Bradley coming back and settling back into his chair. I'm going to give Brad the solo layout there. How is your Shattered Glass Starscream looking there, Bradley?
He's looking pretty good. Might be a little bit dusty.
He does look good. Does he have a sword?
No, he's got two little switchblades.
Well, that's all right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, can you give us a close up of those, because they're the ones that slide out from the back of that. Yeah, right. So I think that actually is possibly what the sword that splits apart to become two different blades actually is possibly homaging.
I guess because it's mounted on the wings. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a good thing to see. All right, you can put that away now before my jealousy and like overtakes me.
Remember, you've got Rodimus time.
Where's the button? I'm just gonna there we go. Yes, Bradley's right. I have Rodimus until Monday, when Bradley will get his own. Anyway, look, I've said several times, I'm in for Shattered Glass. I've pre-ordered this. Again, you can pre-order this on Amazon Australia. I think he's about $58, which is pretty good for a special edition Voyager figure with extra bits. Looks fantastic. What do you guys think, Bradley? Are you going to be updating your Starscream, or will you stick with the one that you have?
I'm going to stick with the one I have, so you've got ample chance to get one for yourself. But just looking at this robot mode, I'm sort of wondering where his second blaster is, because he had 2 in his Tetrajet mode.
Yeah, I think that might have fallen victim to Hasbro's stock photographer.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, what was the price for Red Wing?
Red Wing, being a Gen Select, is probably about $50 or $60. He did come down quite a lot in recent times, so I think he got a reissue.
So Red Wing is cheaper or more expensive? Because like you said, this guy does come with a sword.
Red Wing's pretty much unavailable at the moment, so that will drive the price up. There was a ton of them hanging around Toys R Us Hong Kong until there was a sale last year, and then they all disappeared.
Well, I'm glad you're finally going to be getting some official additions to your Shattered Glass shelf, Jason.
Oh, I'm really glad to be seeing these new Shattered Glass figures. I'm totally there for them. Just a reminder that the rumors. So when the first blur was revealed, we did say that the rumors said that there was going to be a Megatron and a Starscream. There's now a Megatron and a Starscream. The same rumor said that we're also going to get a Goldbug and a Jetfire.
I do have the Shattered Glass Goldbug toy as well from the old BotCon set. So when we get pictures of that, remind me before we go live to get him from the shelf.
All right, here. I think they'll probably reveal it in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. So that's Shattered Glass Starscream. As I said, he's up for pre-order right now on Amazon Australia if you do want to go for him.
Did Max say if he was getting him?
Max, are you getting him?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Oh, yeah.
There we go. And as Nathan Ashby has just pointed out, Gen Select's Red Wing is at Pop Culture for $60.
But that is pop culture, so you can probably get it much cheaper elsewhere.
Actually, I haven't really seen it in stock anywhere for a while. So if Pop Culture's got stock, then cool.
There's probably a reason why they have stock if it's that high a price.
Well, he's a Voyager, right? Like the recommended retail price is $50. He's a Gen Select, so he's a bit of an exclusive. $60 is pretty good for them.
I mean,
we also do know the prices are going up this year too.
Yeah. So I won't be getting this guy, but I'm glad that people that have been familiar with Shattered Glass for pretty much all of its existence are finally getting a chance to own these toys, and I think these toys really do look great.
I agree. I think they look pretty great. Let's move on. There is there's 2 more stories. We might cut that down to 1 story. We'll see how we go. Generation Selects Artfire has not been officially announced, but has leaked in images, and he's gone up for pre-order this week, based on images released from In Demand Toys, a UK-based retailer. Now, Artfire is a repaint of Inferno/Grapple with a very, frankly, hot color scheme that's sort of half white, half red, and there's some black joints in the limbs there. And he is a target master, so he also comes with a battle master with some blast effects as well. Artfire is one of those figures that we've been waiting a really long time for. Ever since we saw Grapple in Wave 1 of Earthrise last year, we figured that there was going to be an Inferno. We figured that there would be an Artfire. We sort of hoped and held our breath, but it hasn't happened yet, that there might even be a Hauler, the green repaint in all of this. There still could be a Hauler at some point in the near future, but for now, we've got leaked images of Artfire. Now, have either of you guys picked up Inferno or Grapple?
I do have Grapple, and I am on the lookout for Inferno.
Mm-hmm. So does that make you likely to pick up Artfire?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I might get it just to keep the mold the same, because I've got the Million Publishing Artfire.
And it's a very nice figure, that though.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I might just keep that Artfire as my Artfire because I think the Artfire character was a double target master. At least the toy, the Milling Publishing toy was. And I think this one's just got the one, or is there a second one I'm not seeing?
No, so actually that's an interesting point. I think it's just the one. But it is interesting that he does come with 2 sets of blast effects, isn't it?
I think that's because his little friend turns into a double-barreled.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I
Two
see.
sets.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, he is a target master. Comes with a couple of blast effects, the usual appendages and add-ons, and I gotta say, I've resisted picking up Grapple every time I see him, and especially because he's still in stores. I went into a Maya store today. What's the guarantee? There's always going to be a Grapple in Maya. Like, I think for the next 5 years there'll be Earthrise Grapples in Maya. But having picked up Kingdom Inferno, I really like Kingdom Inferno, and I feel like Grapple is probably one that I'm going to have to get because I'm probably going to get Artfire as well.
Well, I can easily say that with Inferno, they improved on the faults that were with the grapple mold, so you might still experience the faults with the grapple mold.
Yeah, so, because he's been sitting there since those faults became apparent.
Yeah.
So, I would obviously have to file down the peg to make sure that it doesn't break when he's transformed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon he looks pretty great, especially that very obvious piece of blue tack under his right foot. Thank you for whoever took those photos. It was very nice of them.
At least they kept it obvious. They didn't Photoshop it out. Like, they're being honest. And it's like, yes, we used a piece of blue tack.
They owned it and added it to the mask on the image. So Gen Selects Artfire, I think is another. It's another Gen Select that I'm going to have to go and order. Really happy with it. I'm also actually really happy to get some nice light blue blast effects instead of like weirdo colors. It's nice to have some sort of straightforward blue.
Yeah, but I mean at that price point though, it's going to pretty pricey blast effects. But yeah. Also, he comes with. Does he have 2 hose hands, or is that other one on the side meant to be for his ladder in truck mode?
I actually think the one that you see on the side there above the Target Master is actually shown equipped in this photo, because I think that's the thing that's clipped onto the side of his head. And in truck mode, I know this from Inferno. In truck mode, it can attach to the front of the ladder there.
Okay.
Yeah, it can actually attach onto a lot of different places with this mold, but yeah.
Actually, does the Inferno toy come with those little hose accessories or not?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
I think we might call it quits on the news stories because we are coming up to about 53 minutes. I would like to talk about acquisitions. What have you guys got for acquisitions this week? Bradley, do you want to go first?
I got this from my collector's cabinet. But other than that, I haven't got anything new, I'm afraid. My friend picked up Huffer for me during the week, but I haven't collected it from him yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Looking forward to getting it though.
Huffer is also one of my favorite pieces, and I got to say I had an amazing revelation in the video call on Wednesday night. That was Huffer falling down my desk. I'm going to try and do this without like leaving the full screen share. Huffer's gun. Huffer's gun looks amazing. It comes with this little slots underneath that you probably can't quite see because the camera wants to focus on me. If I move myself, oh my god, I'm like a TV weather girl. Okay, so under the front of Huffer's gun, there's a slot there, right?
Yep.
If you stick your fingernail into that slot, Huffer's gun splits in half, and becomes the sides of his truck. So
yeah.
There's been a lot said about whether or not Huffer's actually like a dump truck or anything like that, but yeah, these pieces, it's like completely not referenced in the instructions. You can split the gun in half, and they will attach onto the sides. So where he comes with his little claw tray, which I don't know where that is.
I didn't know that. Because I saw a video review, and the first thing they did was, they took the sides off and clapped them together, and like, there's his gun. I didn't realize it wasn't referenced in the instructions.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's referenced in the instructions. I haven't looked at the instructions in a really long time. I should probably look at them. But the fact that people were looking at it and just going, "Oh, I didn't know it did that," I think means it's not in the instructions.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So, yeah. Max, have you acquired any new items for your collection?
I have bit of a different one, purely because something I looked at a while back. I was looking at it a while back, skipped over it, and it popped up on Facebook Marketplace. So I have a titanium Sunstorm.
Oh, nice!
I think I saw that. I think I saw that come up, and I think I saw you bidding on it. Yeah, or messaging about it. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on titanium Sunstorm?
Well, it's a figure from 2007, and it's engineered like a figure from 2007. But I love him nonetheless.
That's good.
Do you love him because you love everything Sunstorm?
I mean, yes, but that's beside the point.
No,
everyone likes their stickers.
I just want to get an idea about what we think about him. So yeah.
No, like the titanium series, I've had no experience about until this point because everyone says they're kind of awful. And in a way, he is kind of awful, and that he's just like very lacking in engineering and very floppy joints and all that stuff. But just it's a very nice design. It's a good representation of our war within design.
Yes, true. Because he is actually a war within a bot, so he's designed after the comic appearance, isn't he?
Yeah, and then like the paint job on this is really nice. Like, lots of little details here and there. Like everything's covered in paint. And there is a certain appeal to the die cast figure. It gives it this nice heft and a sort of premium feel to it.
Certainly does.
Even after about a decade and a half, all the paint's fallen off. it is still a very nice feeling figure to have. And engineering wise, it hasn't held up in the slightest. But as a product of its time, it's a really nice little figure, and like one I am glad to own. It just looks nice too.
I think a lot of us look at like Generation 1 figures from the 80s, and we will excuse a lot of things with, well, it's a product of its time. But anything that's made after like the year 2000, we expect to be like an engineering masterpiece. I think it's fair to say that things from 2007 are indeed a product of their time because engineering practices and design and things like that, they were all different back then. Even just in like 14 years, things have changed so much in the industry. The engineering that we get on our figures these days is just it's a level above the stuff that was going on even a few years ago.
Yeah, like this would have been designed 15 years back, right? Like, you can't really expect it to be like what we're getting on the shelves now. It's you got to appreciate these things for what they are. Like that's the whole principle. People who still pick up the Unicron trilogy figures and all that. It's like, they're not going to be up to par, but if you can appreciate this stuff, there's a G1. Everyone collects it anyway, and because it's G1, and we all sort of go, "Oh, it's G1, so it's not going to be particularly impressive."
There's going to be a block with some swing bits.
But I think you can get that same appreciation from more recent figures that aren't up to modern engineering standards. You can still look at them as a piece of a franchise history.
I think you absolutely can and should. In fact, like things should be considered in the environment in which they were created. I just want to put up a comment from Rob saying, "I'm surprised the Siege mold hasn't been recolored for a Sunstorm figure." There is the yellow Seeker from the Rainmaker set, but that is not Sunstorm. I don't know who it actually is.
That one is Nova Storm.
Nova Storm, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am I'm also actually surprised that they seem to have rested Sunstorm for a while. Sunstorm, I think the last Sunstorm figure that came out would have been one of the Generations figures. I don't think it was one of the exclusive ones, but it would have been one of the Generation Seekers. We've had Siege Seekers and Earthrise Seekers in the last little while, and we haven't.
Was there a Generations?
I'm sure there's a Generation Sunstorm. There's 31 of the things. Like they've done they did an Action Master Thundercracker. Like I'm sure they did a Sunstorm.
I was going to say. I thought the last one I saw that was an official one was the Masterpiece Starscream repaint. But that was like a decade ago, I think.
No,
I feel like that was about the same time, actually.
So that's probably the most recent Sunstorm, because the Generations one was on the classic Seeker mold. Like the old deluxe one.
Yeah. And
point
out, Sunstorm has appeared recently in the IDW comics, so it could be gearing up for a new figure.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you for reminding me to catch up on the IDW comics.
I need to read more than the first couple of issues of the new IDW universe. So yeah.
Why don't you tell us what you've got this week, Jason?
Shall we do this?
Let's do it.
All right. So
let's see him.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bradley's about to rage quit because I have a figure that he doesn't have, even though he's taken great delight in rubbing my face in his shattered glass Starscream for the last 10 minutes. So I did go out today and I did get Power of the Primes. Goodness me, Kingdom Rodimus Prime. So I have assembled a little bit of a photo essay as I unboxed and set the figure up tonight. So if you're sitting comfortably, then we will begin. So
I am sitting comfortably, Jason. Thank you for asking.
Very good. My cat was very, very happy with the addition of Rodimus Prime to the house. As you can see, he was very, very interested in the box, even going so far as to not look at it, which is the surest sign that a cat is interested in something. Yep. That is the front of the box, and that is the back of the box, which does identify 34 steps to transform Rodimus. It's slightly more than a Deluxe or a Voyager class figure. Despite his stature, he is about the height of Earthrise Optimus Prime, but he's a far more complicated figure to transform. Once you remove the tray, you will be finding these little plastic dots around your house for the rest of the fucking year. So do be careful when you unpack it. The instructions are slightly thick, and for some reason I got a black Arachnia card because I've spent $150 on a toy. Goodness knows Hasbro can't create a card just for it or something like that.
You may as well get a card for a character you're never actually going to buy, Jason. At least this way you can say you own something from Beast Wars.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's move on. So this actually shows you what you get in the box when you take that tray out of the box. Everything's very unceremoniously just sort of jammed in there and tied down with the nylon ties. It's a little bit. It's almost off-putting when you take.
So it's quite messy.
Was it like rattling at all? Like was anything slipping about?
No, everything was very secure. So the bag with the blast effects pieces is also tied in with a nylon tie as well. So yeah, and there's just some close up detail on the ties that are around it. Sorry,
I saw Prime versus Prime's review of this toy a couple of days ago, and he was saying he doesn't understand why there are so many ports on the inside of it, like Battlemaster ports.
We're going to get to that. I also have a similar thought. But so this is everything that you get in that box. So you've got the trailer, you've got the Rodimus figure and his sword, weapons, blast effects, smoke effects for some reason, and his little mobile battle station gun turret thing, which I don't really have anything better to call it. So that's it, a mobile battle station gun turret thing. There's a bit of a close up look at the car that as it comes straight out of the box there. And there's the car combined with the trailer, and doesn't it look hot? It's actually a really long vehicle at this point. Yeah.
I also really like how Rodimus Prime, like the car itself, you would swear it's just hot rod.
Yeah.
Because the G1 toy is just like if you can imagine like the canopy from this picture that we're looking at, just attaching to the trailer, whereas this one we've got like a whole standalone car.
That's right. Now we have an answer to a question that we posited last week, which was, can you raise the cockpit on this car? And the answer is not very well. There is a hinge there, but the hinge has actually a lot going on in there, and so it doesn't really like you raising the canopy of the car.
I thought that hinge was so you can get the back of it up.
So the back is on the hinge, but the back also rotates, and the front is on a hinge as well. But you can't raise the front until the back is up. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
So you can't have him in this mode and open up the canopy.
Yes, that's right. So question from Nathan saying, do the exhaust hinges support the trailer when open? Do they just let the trailer halves fold down? So these parts do actually hang down. So as you open the trailer, I don't have a photo of that, but as you open the trailer, these parts will remain perpendicular to the ground. I don't know that they actually support it that much, but that's just where they are when the trailer is open. Let's move on there. So, if we do want to talk about blast effects ports, right? They're not necessarily like blast effects ports, but they are 5mm ports, right? Mm-hmm. Shall we count them? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because that one counts still. 11, 12, 13 on this side. And if you look up the top, there's also one visible on the side there. So that's 14 per side. So that's 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39.
Is that 40 in the middle, or is that a swivel?
Maybe it is. It looks like
much, isn't it?
It is a bit much, and I think I miscounted this because I tweeted that there were 38 earlier. But my excuse is that I was drunk, so it doesn't really matter.
Fair enough.
That's a lot of 5mm ports, right? I don't think I have that many 5mm accessories. I don't think I've got that many that could actually plug into this so close together. I just flat do not understand why there are so many 5mm ports on this thing.
What does the... Oh, I guess the gun plugs into that circle part.
We're going to get to that.
Okay, good. No, I was just wondering because... because I can see... I'm confused.
No, that's all right. Well, we're gonna get to that. So, well, may you ask where the gun plugs into, right? And surely, with so many ports on the ground, the turret must plug into a lot of ports. So here's the news. There's two 5mm ports on the gun, and so they're essentially optional. You don't really need to use them.
Yeah.
Don't know what you meant to do with all of the ports on the trailer still. It doesn't make any sense for this. I did, however, find the accessory tray.
Yeah.
So there's a nice little accessory tray underneath it, and the matrix glow effect that we saw come with Hot Rod has been updated for use with the matrix that comes inside Rodimus Prime's chest, and has its own little connection thing here. So there's two little prongs that fit in there, and of course, just for good measure, there's 2 extra 5mm ports. I don't know what the hell is going to go into them.
So when the trailer is closed, there is absolutely no room to have anything plugged into those holes. That's right?
So you can plug the matrix glow in here, and so you can keep it in there. You can see the ports on the left are slightly raised. I don't know. If you've got something that's really small and has like a really small 5mm port, then maybe it can.
No, I mean on the larger interior of the larger trailer. Mm-hmm. So if you've got the cannon in there and you close it up, is there any room?
let's talk about that. There is no room. Also, just on this, I just want to point out that I believe that's how it's meant to work. Right? I don't know.
Well, as Jason working at Hasbro confirmed.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Also, let's talk about the fact that some of the 5mm ports are not transparent. They're just straight through. You could pass something through them. Maybe that'll be useful for some play pattern that we haven't really sort of envisaged yet. Maybe there's a connection hose from like Optimus's trailer or something. But I found that a little bit odd. The other thing that I found odd is the fact that there's this black smoke effect.
That's kind of gross.
It is kind of gross. It's kind of as if Rodimus was foolish at the petrol pump and accidentally put unleaded into his super tank. or vice versa, or something like that.
And I see on the exterior here, at the bottom, we've got more holes.
There's more 5mm ports. Yes, that's correct. And that's the same one as on the inside there. There's more ports. Yeah, there's ports galore. So again, the black smoke is also on the other side of this bot. And just in case you're wondering, yes, they do fit onto the pipes on the cab figure as well. But it just looks gross. It looks like Rodimus has decided.
He's got more ports on him too.
Yeah, it's true. He's got ports galore as well.
Wow.
He just looks. It makes him look ill, like he's sick.
The best bit. So these two ports here. The very first step in transforming them is to flip this hinge down and connect that to that, so that these ports are useless. Anyway. There's also two more ports on the back that you can plug like rocket boosters or something into.
That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I captioned this picture, and I hope that you enjoy my caption for this picture, Bradley. I captioned this picture, "Whack it in turbo barge."
Oh, love it.
So yeah, I found something to do with some blast effects. Now let's talk a little bit about the cannon turret gun thing. I don't know what it's actually called. When you are putting it into the trailer, this is how you secure it. There's a tab. It's not a 5mm port or anything. There's a tab that you lock it into, and then you close the trailer around it. Guess what happens when you do this?
It unpegs.
No, the trailer just won't close.
Yeah.
What's if it's just not enough room?
Yeah. It's just not quite enough room for this.
What?
For this stuff.
It's just too big.
Yeah. It's like 1 millimeter too large.
Oh man.
So what's the solution?
You have to take it out and mount the weapons platform on the top. Which is all. I mean, it's pretty good. Like no one will see it coming. But yeah. And also, I made this one where Rodimus is slapping the roof of the car, just going, "This thing can fit so much matrix of leadership in it." This bad boy. As you will notice at this point, I have actually transformed Rodimus by the time I took this photo. I didn't take any in-progress photos of the transformation. You don't really need to. You just follow the instructions. There's his robot mode.
Very nice.
He's got some really nice chunky feet, so he can pose probably. And I really want to make special mention of the hands. The hands are really actually quite special. So he's got joints in his knuckles. So first of all, he's got an independently moving index finger, so that he can point and bring me the head of Galvatron. but also on the rest of the fingers, which is traditionally just a single piece that moves, they've also got this joint through, but they just move as one. Now, what that means is that he can actually articulate his hand up to a fist, or he can open it out and he can wave at people. Now, this is a masterpiece level hand, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is better than we get on masterpiece figures. The hand is actually really impressive here, and I really hope that this is a sign of things to come.
Is this more impressive than like the original Optimus Prime? Because I remember that had like a separate index finger and 3 fingers.
Yeah, it is more impressive than that because that kept falling off.
And also, do the hands rotate at the wrist, or?
Yes, the hands will rotate at the wrist.
Because
The thumb doesn't move though.
I think I saw someone had this, and they got him in the "this is the end of the road, Galvatron" sort of pose.
Yeah, so yeah, you can definitely do that with him. So like I said, the hands are just really something special. I'm actually really glad that when I've taken these photos and I've put them on Twitter and on Facebook, people have actually picked up on this and just go, wow, those hands are great. There's just so many options to them. I mean, if you're not going to get fully articulated individual fingers, this is pretty much the best that we've had that is close to that. I'm very happy with it, and I'd really like to see other figures doing it. You can also actually see if I take this back here, you can sort of see how his arm transforms and sort of pieces wrap around. So the arm actually, like in vehicle mode, the arm is like stretched out straight, and this red piece here actually extends well beyond the hand to form the side of the vehicle. So there's quite a lot of clever things that go on with this transformation, but they're not unearned. Like they're pretty straightforward, and they're pretty easy to understand how you move them around. So there's Rodimus with his mobile gun turret thing, and I gotta be honest, the gun turret is less impressive than I was hoping it would be. It's very light, and so like this photo here looks pretty good, but it's really like the gun turret is almost just hanging there. It's almost not really in. It's not sitting there with him grabbing it. He's sort of holding it up.
I was going to say, did you ever own the G1 Rodimus toy?
I did, yes.
So I can't remember with that toy. Can you remove the turret, or is that stuck in the cab?
Now that I can't quite remember. I feel like it might be stuck in the cab, but I'm not quite sure. The thing that I remember mostly with that toy is the shield parts detaching and getting lost.
Yep. Also, I wanted to ask with this Rodimus, so those clips on his chest, is that where the canopy attaches into?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
No, we were wondering this last week. I think, was it last week or maybe it was during the video chat this week? I said it looks like Rodimus has a bit of a beer belly because of the way that this goes. But yes, so you can see his blue canopy is behind his head there, and that will sort of hinge up, and yes, that's where it clicked in.
Okay, because I really like how Studio Series 86 Hot Rod has like a flat chest, and this guy actually looks like not only in the face but also in the chest. He looks like he's sort of matured, gotten bulkier.
No, that's true. He does look more grown up. Yeah,
it really reminds me of a sort of Studio Ox aesthetic, like with the sort of very clearly defined line work across the body.
Yeah, I think we've seen a few Studio Ox homages come out sort of almost in secret in the last few years. There's been a few things that have come out and it's like, yeah, that's not quite as it was in G1, but it's more of a Studio Ox reference. I think you're not off base with that.
I was going to say, is that bit of dark red on Rodimus's arm, is that on his arm or is that on his backpack?
Which part are you talking about?
See, we got like his tire and the shoulder, and then beneath that, there's that dark red. That part.
This part there. Yeah. That's actually, I think that might be part of his backpack because the arms are pretty much a clean line down there.
Because I was going to say, so it's like a pretty solid, like same red.
Yes, it's just in shadow. It's just in shadow. In fact, I can put myself up on the screen here, and I can show you this a little bit better. So as you can see there, it definitely is backpack that you were looking at.
Okay. All right.
So something else I do want to point out, which I didn't actually take a photo of too closely, the wheels actually lock in. So the wheels actually, there's a part that lifts up, and they slip into that slot, and then they lock in. They tab into place so that they don't sort of spin out uncontrollably. It's
that's a nice little touch.
It is a really nice little touch, and this is the thing that people keep saying about the Commander class figure and the Commander class price point, is that you end up with a more complex figure. Like you can put Hot Rod and you put Optimus side by side, which I say that now because look, there we are. Like you can see the difference in
we
in
can't
Hot Rod and Optimus. Oh no, you can't because I didn't put it up. You can see the difference.
Nice.
You can also see that I've actually slightly mistransformed his left leg there, and all the times that I was taking these photos, I was just like, why does he keep leaning? And I figured it out eventually, but too bad. And this image is dedicated to my lovely friends over at the Triple Takeover podcast, who said, if it doesn't shake hands with Optimus Prime, it's not a real Transformer. So yeah, he can definitely do the handshake with Optimus Prime, especially with his hand articulation on there.
Did you take any photos of the Matrix?
I didn't actually. Now that you ask, I didn't actually open up the chest and get them out. No, that's all right. Let me see if I can. Figure out how to do this in here. Oh yeah, actually, you know what? It's actually really easy. Let me put myself back up there. So yeah, the chest compartment just flips down, and there is the Matrix.
Nice. Actually, one thing I wanted to ask was I saw like one video review and it said.
Sorry, just before we do that, I just want to point out, like I closed that up and like listen to this. Like, there's a very satisfying click. So much of this figure clicks and tabs into place and is held in place really, really securely. It's really, really nice. I really appreciate it. That was actually something that I found possibly a little bit lacking with Hot Rod, is that Hot Rod feels a little bit flimsy, whereas this feels extremely sturdy.
Yeah.
So you were going to ask a question.
Yeah, with the
on his back.
I saw the video review and it mentioned something like his vehicle mode has very little clearance. Is that true? Or like he had like a grey tab?
It probably is true. The one thing that I noticed when I was looking at him in vehicle mode is that the wheels have very little space between them and sort of their enclosures, and the same is probably then true under the vehicle. There's probably very little clearance as well.
Yeah, because for some, I thought maybe like the video reviewer had it maybe mistransformed because it looked like a very obvious sort of grey peg between the two front wheels. And also, the Sword of Primus, does that drag on the ground when it's stored?
I didn't store Sword of Primus on it. I'll have to put him back in robot mode. I'll have to put him back into car mode later on and see how it goes. I do have the Sword of Primus here. Is this a desired accessory of yours, or you're indifferent to it? I don't care.
And I just saw it because I thought it was something in the comics, wasn't it? So I thought maybe you would like it or something.
Yeah, so let's talk about where the Sword of Primus comes from, right? So you said it's something in the comics. Do you know which comics it's from?
IDW more than meets the eye. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the comics.
No, so apparently it's actually from the Transformers Regeneration 1 comic. Now, this was the continuation of the Marvel Comics series that IDW did. So Marvel's G1 series ended at issue 80, and then IDW picked it up with issue 81, and it was set like 25 years after issue 80, and Earth had been destroyed and blah, blah, blah. And I don't remember the Sword of Primus in that series at all. Like,
I remember a lot of other stuff, not that.
Yeah. I don't
it wasn't
remember
like
the Sword of Primus at all.
It didn't plot specific. It wasn't like a Maltese Falcon or a MacGuffin or anything.
I don't know.
I can't remember
it.
And like the end of that series was such a mess. Like it started off really well, but then by the end it was a whole bunch of like mystical stuff and like it's just a bunch of assorted nonsense.
It's the problem that I often find with Furman's work is that like this stuff ends up going too big and too galactic by the end of his work in order to draw things to a close, and like I just like I lose track of all the details. I can't follow it. Like I said, I don't remember the Sword of Primus. I kind of don't care. Like
it's not enough to get you flicking through Regeneration 1.
I could. I'd have to fire up a device with Comixology on it to do it.
Okay.
Which, like, I can certainly do it. I don't remember him getting the Sword of Primus. I barely even remember Rodimus being in it. Like, I don't know. Like, you're asking a lot of me.
Well, it's just, I'm the Beast Wars guy. I thought you were the comics guy.
You know what, mate?
Yeah, but not those
I thought I was the comics guy as well. So yeah. Anyway, look, that's so that's Kingdom Rodimus Prime. I hope you've enjoyed like an extended 25-minute look at the figure, which is what it's turned into. I
feel like with you it's worthwhile though, because like it literally just showed up today out of nowhere. So not many people have been able to have a look at this thing. So
not many people have it because it is in fact a world first.
Yes,
it hasn't shown up in other countries yet. It probably will very soon. So yeah. Look, I think with that, I think we probably need to bring things to a bit of a close.
We might get under 90 minutes.
Yes, if we go now, because we're at 1 hour and 26. So if we go now, we need to finish by 1:30.
No, you got club stuff to do.
No, there's only a couple of little bits of club stuff. One of which is so Supanova is on this weekend. We will try to get someone on who is actually there to come and talk to us about it next week. And next week, TCCA will be at CollectorCon in Sydney. Come by. We'll have some figures on sale. There's some Netflix Wave 3 figures. They're not in Kmart stores yet. We don't know why. They'll be on sale at our stand. Some Gen Selects and some Kingdom figures as well. And the following month in June, Supanova is coming to Sydney, and so we will be aiming to do something at Supanova Sydney. I don't know if it's going to be as grand as Melbourne because I don't have all the glass cabinets and stuff that the Melbourne boys have. So, just, temper your expectations, but we should definitely have people there with a table with some Transformers on them.
I was going to say you had another acquisition this week, didn't you? Of a glass cabinet.
I did have a glass cabinet, yes, and that is not going to Supernova. Do you know why? Because it had to be dismantled to bring it here. Yeah, it's huge. So yeah, as much as I like the idea of taking cabinets to displays, like my problem is I don't drive. Right, the guys in Melbourne who have the glass cabinets, they have cars and they have trailers that they can take these things around, and I have to rely on the kindness of others to get me to conventions. So can't
so do you have the cabinet yet, or is it being delivered to you?
I do have the cabinet. It is not installed in this room yet, but hopefully it will be by next weekend. We'll see how we go.
Cool.
Believe me, like when I get a glass cabinet and everything installed, like I'm going to update the display and I'll take photos. So it will be well known that it's happened. Yeah. So that is it. We're gonna try and bring this to a close at 1 hour 30, like Bradley said. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you're watching along, and a few people have been, so thank you very much. Thanks for checking us out. You will find links to these stories and more in the show notes. If you want to get in touch, you can find us all in Transformers Collectors Club Australia, or you can get in touch with the podcast on the Australian Transformers Weekly page on Facebook, or on our website at transformersweekly.podbean.com. We are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia, a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers donating their time, effort, energy, and sometimes even money to make the club better for everyone. Our goal is to connect Transformers fans around the country. We do it by engaging the collecting community, and that is what Simon and Jonathan are doing out at Supanova at the moment, talking to people who like Transformers and getting them to come and join us. You can find more information about the club and benefits of membership and how to show your support for what we do at TransformersCCA.com. Heading off world, you can find Transformers CCA on Twitter at Transformers CCA. We've given the Facebook info enough. I am on Twitter at JM77, and Bradley is on Twitch at Groovy Guy Gaming, and he's got 1,000 followers. So congratulations. And so remember I said earlier I might have something ready to go by the end of the thing. I'll just put that up there, twitch.tv/GroovyGuyGaming. I actually did have that ready to go at the start and I didn't realize, but yeah. So the URL is on the screen now if you want to follow Bradley on Twitch. So yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Please do. And that is all from us. We will be back with more Transformers news. Look, at this rate, hopefully next week. I don't know. Maybe Australia will have another world first by next week. Maybe we'll have Studio Series 86 Wave 2 in hand next week. It's probably not, but like we'll see. That is it. And yeah, thank you everyone. Thanks for watching, and we will meet you back again in the fullness of time.